Since the last video I made, I've noticed there's a lot of new subscribers to this channel. I want to take a quick moment here to say thank you very much. It means the world to me. And I guess I'm making videos now that many more people will be watching. So let's just take it away from here. Thank you for joining my journey with Made for Fighting. A lot of people have been talking about Jon Jones moving to heavyweight in combination with Brock Lesnar also potentially coming into the heavyweight division. This sparks the question. For many years, people wanted to see the beast of Brock Lesnar fight the technical warrior in Jon Jones. And for many, many years, we haven't been able to see this. So is this a matchup worth going after? It's definitely a money fight. I don't know if you guys agree with me here, but I do think that the UFC will get a huge draw for this matchup. But is it good for the fans overall and for the sport in the sense of MMA? That is the question left to answer here. Although I'm not a Brock Lesnar fan by any means, I started thinking to myself, hey, looking back, he has a couple of epic moments, and I'm here to share it with you. Before we get into it, make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like button, and hit that bell so you can stay up to date with all the content. Early on in 2008, Brock Lesnar fights Heath Herring, and I feel like he made more noise than people expected. For a guy who all he has is a wrestling background and pretty much does a lot of the fake wrestling, coming out like this to Heath Herring is ballsy, which is why I put this at number 3 out of my top 3 list. I do think that it's awesome how he came out with this confidence with the knee, and then he drops Heath Herring with this kabanger right here. And freeze frame here for a second. What in the world is that? Imagine being Heath Herring and looking up after you've been dropped by Lesnar and seeing this bull charge at you. Let's be real, Lesnar moves very well for a guy his size in the wrestling aspect. Although I don't give him credit for being an MMA fighter, meaning well-rounded, I do think he is a beast and moves very, very well for a guy his size. This is scary. Holy crap. That is just one of the scariest things you can see. One thing is to be that big, another thing is to move like that. It's absolutely insane, which is why I put that as one of the top 3 moments. You got to give credit where credit is due. At number 2, I have the Frank Mir versus Brock Lesnar doubleheader 2-fight series. Frank Mir being a guy who is an absolute legend in the heavyweight division with jiu-jitsu that scared us all as well. As you can see here, breaks his arm right at the forearm point. Referee had to stop the fight here. Then, many years later, Frank Mir went on to break Nogueira's arm here. Amazing submission after being rocked. Frank Mir clearly not being a guy you can mess with. Just to keep you guys in check with this, Brock Lesnar stepped in there the first fight, and he was dropping this guy. By some miracle, the referee stops the fight to separate them. I don't know if there were hits to the back of the head worthy of stopping this. There's a lot of controversy here. A lot of people say Mir got lucky. The referee stopped the fight here to separate this, and then let it continue elsewhere where Frank Mir was able to miraculously hit the lottery and get a leg lock here. And of course, epic moment number 2, it's got to be the ass slap. Ass slap for submission. It doesn't get better than this. And although Lesnar loses here, the reason I put this at number 2 is because in the rematch, Lesnar comes out against the so-called amazing grappler, and he's able to just cake him. I mean, look at these brutal ground and pound punches. Very good stoppage, left us all sour and bitter. If you were an MMA fan back then, you did not want Mir to lose. He got caked, completely caked, and of course, you got to really enjoy the slobber against the cage here. I mean, this is just classic nasty. He was able to take Frank Mir against the odds that we all pinned him against, which is why that's not at number 2. And coming in at number 1, Brock Lesnar versus Shane Carwin. Shane Carwin being the guy that had, at the time, the largest hands in the heavyweight division. Brock Lesnar got his ass caked here. Not tapping in the booty again. He was dropped, hurt. The referee could have stopped this fight at any moment. Brock Lesnar did just enough to survive. All credit to Lesnar here. He survived a terrible first round here against a very dangerous fighter. Round 2 comes out. Shane Carwin is gassed. You can almost tell what's going to happen. And here's the thing, fight IQ is super important. Brock Lesnar, realizing this, goes for a takedown, wastes no time. He gets into full mount and secures the arm triangle to get the comeback victory against Shane Carwin. Once again, if you're an MMA fighter, you're kind of upset that a dude who hasn't really been predominantly in the MMA world, coming in and really coming back and winning these fights against these badass fighters. Now, granted, Lesnar did go out to lose against Cain Velasquez once the competition got real tough, and from there on out, he lost to Overeem, and we can all make the argument for why he shouldn't be against John Jones now in his return. However, this video does bring us back a little bit of nostalgia that Lesnar did have some fun moments, and we need to give credit where credit is due. Tell me what you guys think. After seeing this, does this change your mind just a little bit? Does it excite you a little bit? I think that no matter what happens, I'm tuned in, although I'd rather see Jones fight someone else. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Until next time, Made for Fighting, you know where we at. Be sure to subscribe.